podcast is powered by Audiohaus Dublin.
Quality and training purposes. So I said, yeah, no problem. I said, what Garda station are you from? And he goes, the local one. So I don't know why I accepted this. So I was like, yeah, no problem. So he said,
so we're here with Thomas Arnold.
how do I introduce myself?
And he is a YouTuber, and he's doing an internship in Microsoft, right?
That's a fact, yeah.
Yeah. So go on, give us a little bit about yourself.
Brief intro. So I'm 21. I do commerce in UCD. I'm on internship this year. Commerce is a weird degree. You do best. So you guys don't have like a year away, do you? You can do a semester away.
We can do it.
Yeah, for an entire year. My friend Dan actually did that, but in our course it can be 3 years that you do straight through, or it can be 4 years where you take your third year and go on work experience essentially. So I'm doing marketing basically in Microsoft, and outside of work I do YouTube, I do freelance videos and photography, and that's pretty much my life.
I saw your website earlier.
It's pretty shocking.
I had to do a bit of research. It's pretty sweet.
I paid €1,200 for that.
You paid €1,200 for that?
I paid €1,200 for that. Yeah, so back in late 2017, I was living. So I'm from Lusk.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that I'm from the south side. That's not true. I went to Belvedere, and 6 years of that turned my voice into this. When I was 12, I didn't go into that school with this voice, but I came out of it with that voice. And if you think I'm a D4 wanker, then I don't really care what you think, really, to be honest. But I can't even remember what point I was saying. I can't remember what point I was saying.
Why you paid $1,200 for that website?
Yeah. So end of 2017. So I'm living at home, right? Not paying rent, balling with freelance basically. And I'm like, I need a website. It's the thing that's going to make me look more professional. It's what's going to change me from just sending people DMs on Instagram to being, oh, that's legitimate. Because when someone's at a conference or something, the one thing they ask you for is a business card.
Yeah.
And I didn't want on my business card to be like my phone and my Snapchat.
Yeah.
Because one, they think they want me to text them, and two, they think I might send them dick pics. So instead, what I was like, okay, I'm going to pay for a website, and it was just to a friend, and he was like, this guy works in Google, he can sort it out for you. I'm still very happy with the website, but the reason why I paid so much was because A, I had a lot in the bank at the time. A, man, don't have that anymore, and B, I was like, I just don't want to have to think about it.
Yeah.
With hindsight, it probably would have been better to get one of my mates to do it on Squarespace. And I would have, given them a shout out in a vlog. But, paid 12. And I don't even use it. Like, nobody even goes to my website. All my freelance work comes through word of mouth.
Yeah.
So I've never, I got 2 weddings off it over summer when I drove money in through Google AdWords. So I was like, okay, I'm going to put €100 against the keyword wedding. And then I got 2 jobs off that. And I'm never doing weddings ever again because it's the biggest pain in the hole. But I got some cash off that as well. So
that's sweet. And you're just doing like YouTube stuff now as well. How'd you get into YouTube?
Yeah, so I actually started YouTube when I was like 13. I'll probably send the clip to Jack, but or not probably Chris who's editing this. But I started it when I was 12 or 13 doing cricket videos because there was a gap in the market. There was nobody teaching cricket, and at the time I loved it, so I played it up until I was like 16 or 17. Yeah. Did that for a year, got 200,000 views, 18 videos. I was balling. I'm making so much cash. I was making no cash. And after that, I sort of fell off it for a bit because basically people were talking shit about me behind my back. Understandably, like if a 12-year-old makes videos about cricket and you're a coach, I was essentially passing around misinformation because I was basically ripping information off the internet and translating it into video, but it was more consumable for people who want to learn cricket because nobody wanted to read about it.
Yeah.
So after I stopped out when I was 14, I was dabbling around with stuff. I did some stuff with school when I went to Belvedere, did a few trips, but I didn't get properly back into it after I had left DCU. So a little bit of my backstory, and if you've watched my YouTube channel for over a year, you'll probably know this because I say it all the time, but in my CAO, I got my 4th preference, which was genetics in DCU. I never thought I'd go there, but I ended up going there. Hated the course, left after 3 months, started knocking doors all across the left side of the M50 with Phone Watch, and I was like a little bit depressed. I didn't know what I was doing. I was so...
My brother had that job as well. I have that jacket, and the boys call me the phone watch Garda.
How long did you do it for?
No, my brother did it. I didn't do it. He did it for like a solid half month or something. But the jacket is so sick. It's like a solid jacket, but it has a big fucking phone watch at the back and a big patch here.
Yeah.
So like every time I wear it, the boys fucking slag me. But yeah. Phone watches.
That's one of the big selling points, because when I came in, it was coming up to Christmas, and my second day was the Christmas party, and we were brought out to this big hotel, and everyone's having a great time. I really liked Phone Watch, by the way, as a company. It was very good. Just the job didn't suit me, but I'm brought to this thing, all this free food, I meet all these people. I'm like, this is going to be great. And then I'm working December 22nd in the freezing cold, pissing rain,
shit.
and I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? And most people give up after 2 or 3 weeks, but I'm not like that. So I stayed for 4 or 5 months, because I definitely felt like I could learn a lot from the experience.
Yeah.
So I wanted to learn about selling, and moreover than that, there was a part of me that was saying, oh, I just want to become the best in my office at selling. So I think I went from no sales, this is all commission now, no salary. So 0 sales month 1, 1 month 2, 2 month 2, 4 sales in month 3, 8 in month 4, then 1 cancelled, so I lost my bonus, and then I left early April. But I learned a lot from it, and I went from that to a garden centre, and during that time as well, I reapplied to the CIO to do commerce, like do a business course.
Yeah.
And that's essentially when I started doing YouTube again, around March, when I sort of quit the sales job, because I was frustrated that in the past I couldn't do YouTube consistently, and I was thinking to myself, if only I could just do something on a regular basis, I know I could make something of this if I just stick at it for a while. And that was March 2016, and now it's been 2 years and 9 months. We're approaching 10k. I've made over 300 videos. In my first year, when I literally had no subscribers, I put out 3 videos a week for 54 consecutive weeks. That was mainly just to prove to myself that I could be consistent.
Yeah.
I don't think strategically, in terms of how I had titled them, it didn't really lead to growth for the channel, but it was just a way of proving that I could just do it again and again and again and become like almost machine-like at putting them out.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately why I think I'll be successful with it in the future.
You proved that to yourself already, like
what?
That you can do it consecutively.
Yeah, well, I proved that, and then I needed to prove that I could grow it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, great, but you only have 1,000 subs, so like, what are you going to do? And there's a load of people with that. So how can you take it? I think it's the same with lots of things in life when you're building a skill, and for me that was growing a channel.
Yeah. What
gets you from 0 to 1,000 is a certain strategy. What gets you from 1 to 10 is another, and 10 to 100 is another. So it took ages to get to like 2k, but I think I've gone from 2 to 10 in about a year and a half. And it's not the thing that everybody says that like once you get a certain amount of subscribers, it's easier to grow. It's not. You can still be completely irrelevant. Like ask Alex, like he's done videos where he's got no views. And that's because if you're not catering and evolving your channel towards what the content is today, you're essentially, I don't want to curse on this, but you're fucked. Your channel won't grow. And so I had to move from doing a vlogging style, which was consistently growing. My channel plummeted when I went to Japan over summer. And if it wasn't for a comment from Drew Fortune, who does like reaction videos, that basically said that YouTube is ups and downs and that you've got to sort of evolve your channel. From that, I snuck into EP, I snuck into Longitude.
Did you sneak into?
Yeah.
Did you get in?
Yeah, that's right.
They were some of the funnest thrill rides ever. Getting into EP was just the funniest thing in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
And apologies if you're actually listening to this. I'm going to say and like a lot. I'm trying to get rid of that habit. And I really wish someone could have an electrical buzzer every time I say like, and I can just shock me, because I never listen to. I sound like a dumbass when I say that. So
yeah, we have a friend who had one of those. We could probably hook you up. A few shock bands, you know.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, they're great. Great, apparently, for waking up in the morning and kicking the vaping habits and stuff like that.
I don't vape, but I would love for that, so I can get up nice and early every single morning.
Yeah.
Never like sleep in or anything. Would be brilliant.
Yeah, apparently you get used to it though, so you got to up the shockage, you know, every couple of weeks. So you know you don't want to go too far, because you'll end up killing a few brain cells every.
You sound like
every
you're saying
morning.
that from experience.
No, I wish I was. I mean, I'm sure it'd
If
be
there's a dead
an
body
enlightening
behind
experience.
this wall, I'm leaving right now.
Just don't look in that door there, and
I'm just
we
gonna
won't
look
say
at
anything.
Chris, Jack the entire time. Keep calling Jack fucking Chris.
Yeah.
I love the way you can't see fuck Jack. I love the way you can't see Jack as well. You like just don't know what he looks like.
Yeah, you just gotta
He's just one of
assume
those guys.
He's over there. He's
like the
It's like
greatest.
unboxed
he's a
therapy,
dangerous
you know?
looking man.
Yeah, 100%.
The exact same Jack. He's called Jack as well. That's what Jack looks like on Unboxed Therapy, I'd say.
It's like we'll do a face reveal when Monks and Trunk gets to 1,000 subs. Or 1 million, sorry, 1 million.
He'd
Yeah.
be like, "Who's that Pokemon?" That's just Jack. But I was gonna ask about the sneaking in videos and all that. Is there ever any sort of repercussions for?
Yeah, there's 100%
Stuff like that.
repercussions, yeah. So,
Yeah,
so let's take it through bit by bit. So, no.
yeah,
Ultimately here, if I had 10 million subs and I did that, I probably would have gotten in more trouble.
yeah.
It was because I didn't have a lot of subscribers. What else I was thinking to Longitude I didn't get in, so there was no issue.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Electric Picnic was very funny because the 2 days after, I'm on a train to Galway.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm on a train to Galway and I get a phone call, 9 p.m. No caller ID on the phone. I open it. Hi, is this Thomas Arnold? Yes. Hi, I'm just ringing you here from your local Garda station. We have heard you snuck in. We saw your video there about Electric Picnic, and we're just chasing up on people who snuck in. So I'm on the phone and I'm thinking, okay, this could half be legitimate. It sounds sort of legitimate. So in case he's actually recording me, I'm going to stay calm here. So he's like, okay, obviously we're recording this phone call for, quality and training purposes. So I said, yeah, no problem. I said, what Garda station are you from? And he goes, the local one. So I don't know why I accepted this. So I was like, yeah, no problem. So he said, so yeah, we're basically, we saw your videos. We're big fans of the channel. We don't want to do anything to you. But if you get a phone call within the next half hour, if you don't get a phone call within the next half hour, then you're fine and you're away scot-free. So I put down the phone and I'm thinking through every life decision I've ever made. Okay, what led me up to this moment? I'm on a train to Galway to film Wellfest and my local Garda station has rang me and I could be put in prison. And I'm starting my internship in 3 days. And I get a phone call 10 minutes later and I pick it up straight away and I'm on the phone. And all I hear is, yeah, we're pranking him. And then he goes, hello, is this Thomas? And I said, yeah. And he goes, you've just been pranked with a strawberry alarm clock. And then he just turns off the phone. So I actually had no repercussions of Electric Picnic. But I did have to, obviously, and this is something I'd say is a piece of advice for anybody. If you are going into some form of corporate job, which I have, it's not a good idea to do stuff that's like untrustworthy. So all that stuff was very funny. I loved doing it. It was very funny. And if would I have done it off camera, maybe. But you got to understand, and I've learned this anyway, is that, and I've been doing this since I've moved into my internship. I've tried to make my content more. It's still creative, but like a little bit more PG and just trustworthy. Yeah. Because I think overall, no matter what business you go into, showing that you're untrustworthy is a bad idea. Because I know off camera, I think like nobody's gonna be able to believe that I'm a trustful person. But like I like to say like that I get the job done or whatever, and I look after you if you needed something done by me. But just doing little things like that you might short term do for views can have repercussions of people thinking about you the wrong way. Yeah. So everything you do in your life contributes to who you are as a brand. So like James as a brand, people just know him as a certain type of person. I have no idea who you are. But it's the same when it comes to social media. Yeah. So everything you do contributes to an image that you're portraying. And people are going to see that image and just take it for who you are. They're going to say, that's Thomas. So if I continuously made sneaking in videos, he's the rebellious guy who doesn't care about rules, who sneaks into festivals. Or you could be Thomas is the creative guy who works hard at his videos and tries to make the best content they can and be fun and entertaining. Yeah. And that's more what I like my brand to be. That's what I'm moving towards now.
Yeah, the last few videos you put out were really good. Like we watched the Krispy Kreme one.
Yeah.
We watched that one. We watched the becoming president, and I watched the Rob Lipsett one this morning, and I was like, holy shit, this is good. And by the time I know it, I'm like, shit, it's finished. I check how long it was, and it was what, 18 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, he just made me watch 18 minutes of this shite. But then I was wondering, like, you had a really interesting approach into how you were going to do the video, and that's what the whole time you had the audience's attention.
100%.
And, how why did you do that video?
So I had the idea around 2 weeks ago, and I don't know what it was. I think I was coming off a train or something, and I had just finished the Jake Paul series, Shane Dawson series, which I'd watched, and I was thinking, I'd always loved fitness. I was wondering who would be the only like fitness guy who'd have questions in Ireland who I could interview, and it was Rob.
Yeah.
And I'd done a couple things with him before, and I was like, sure, look, I'll just send him a WhatsApp message. So I came out of Houston, and I was sending a WhatsApp. I'm just like, yeah, Rob, so I have this idea about a video, and I'm stuttering in it as well. And halfway through, I'm thinking, oh, you're a gobshite. You can't unsend a WhatsApp message. And as soon as it's recording, you can't click like X. You can't get rid of it. So I'm there, okay, I've got to batter through this. So say, yeah, basically, I watched the Jake Paul series, and I'd love to do something where I interview you, and I have loads of questions and stuff. And then I followed up with a text with like actual questions of what I do. And I said, look, I'll send you an email. And to his credit, he said, Jake Paul feels, crying emoji face. Let's do it. So I sent him an email, and I said exactly what I was going to do. So I said, I'm going to basically go to your gaff or raw and do a bit of a, maybe film you in the gym, and then we ask you questions, or basically do something like that, and then it's going to be sort of based around Shane Dawson. So I let him know what rough questions I was thinking of doing, and I also said to him that I'd send him the video beforehand for approval. Yeah. So I wasn't going to put anything up, and nothing would be published unless he was happy with it. So
we should probably do that, man. Because see, most of the people we get in, we just publish it.
Yeah, you know? I was thinking about that, and you have my express permission to put up whatever I say.
We got it on camera.
Yes. But yeah, so because time and stuff, it was easier to just go to his house. So we went to his house, and before the bit in the video, where Dara comes to my house at the start of it, that I had actually filmed an entire bit the day before, but it just wasn't relevant to the video. I'd also done a skit scene, which also was irrelevant, and I think it was interesting. So number one, I think the video is going to continuously get views, because basically the formula to go viral is twofold. You need good click per impression and good watch time. Or sorry, not good watch time, good average view duration. That equals watch time. So basically YouTube only cares about watch time, how long you stay on the platform as a user. Yeah. So if I can keep you on it for 90 minutes on someone's channel versus 20 minutes when I'm on the Monks in the Trunk, then I can sell you more ads and make more money. So I'm going to promote videos that have more watch time. Yeah. And the formula for watch time is twofold. You have two figures. It's view duration, how long someone watches it on average, multiplied by the amount of people per 100 who click on the thumbnail. So my Krispy Kreme video has 97,000 views. I'm not going to label it as viral, because viral is like millions, but I call it a very high performing video. It has a click-through rate of like 7% or something, and a good view duration. Yeah. Now it blew up, I think, because the search term Krispy Kreme blew up when basically all the people from Blanche tried to knock into the place at night time, and that's why it sort of did really well. And then, so I will get back to the point in a second, but also an interesting thing happened is that it got 40k in a week, and then for some reason the algorithm took it and plucked it over in America, and I got these mad long comments from people from all the way from Wisconsin to Florida to Washington, all telling me about their stories about how they had Krispy Kreme in their childhoods. And I was like, what the hell is going on? These are 50-year-old men here commenting on my videos, because when adults don't generally comment, but when they do, it's long. Whereas kids are more likely to just comment and have more interaction. Yeah. So when you look at a Jake Paul video, you look at it and think, Jesus, 10,000 comments is because they're all 8. Whereas if you have someone who has like a college audience, say for example, like probably Alex, well, maybe not Alex, me probably a year and a half ago, there's just not as many comments because we don't want to put something up. We're just not as arse.
That's the same with the podcast. Like, I feel like there's not that much of a
interaction.
Like even, there's not, people don't subscribe anymore, people don't comment. Even it's weird because our group chats in college, Jack was telling me the engineering group chat's always blown up. They're putting in memes and shit. In our one, if you put up a message, you're either getting slagged or you're just getting no response, and you get like 100 scenes. So it's people that just like they're taking a step back in that whole interacting with content and stuff. You know.
Yeah.
In college, I feel. Then there's kids like we were talking about Jaffa Man.
Yeah.
Like they probably love that shit, you know. They probably
love
typing in the comments, all interacting with each other, you know, doing something.
Yeah. It's like the younger you go, I think the more interaction you get. And I think if someone was watching my channel, if you were subscribed from my college videos and you've seen how I've moved content, you're going to be like, I hate this content now. I don't want to watch it because it's more catering towards kids. Yeah. But it was a deliberate decision because I was like, I like making fun content and entertaining stuff, and kids are almost the best people to make content for because they DM you and they're like, oh, I love your videos so much. Like you'd never get that off of college students. So I needed it for like interaction and stuff and comments, and it was easier to sort of age down in that way, if that makes sense. That sounds really weird, but like I also hate people who are like, oh my god, you're like a pedophile for doing. I'm like, shut up, man, just shut up. I'm making videos here. What are you doing with your life? But so anyway, it's average view duration. The Rob Lipsett video has a really good view duration because it's just so enthralling. It's just so interesting. It's like here's this guy who
the music, everything, man, is perfect.
It's perfect. It's like, oh my god, this is so interesting. Like he's not related to fitness and he has all these questions and he wants to like ask Rob about it. It's like so interesting. But so view duration and then the click-through rate is twice that of Krispy Kreme. So it's just going to do really well.
Wow. Yeah.
But the interesting thing about it is that there's like, I don't get a lot of hate on my channel at all, but this video has like a lot of dislikes. At the moment it's on 500 likes and like 100 dislikes, and I would predict that it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio from now on. So really? 1 like for every 1 dislike.
Because it's Rob, I think. Like some people just hate Rob, I feel, for no reason. Yeah, because it's
the polarizing nature of it. And basically the night after the second night after I posted it, when I started getting some of the dislikes and stuff, I was feeling so insecure. I was like, what am I doing? What content am I making? Yada. All the comments that people were saying, it was only like 4 comments now, by the way, which is mad how your brain works, because there was 100 nice comments and 4 bad ones. And it was one guy saying like, basically, you're a pussy, you should have asked them harder questions. Somebody else is saying this is shit content. Someone else is saying Rob's a really nice guy. And then I was actually going to bring it to therapy. Like I go to therapy every 2 weeks. I was like, I'm going to ask him about it. But I had a chat with Dara last night and he said, no man, it's really good content.
It is.
You rewatch some of it, and I rewatched it and I was like, this is great. It's actually so good. It answers everything. And the people who are doing those negative comments are seeing the title. They're like, the dark side of Rob Lipsett, the truth. They see a needle and they think I'm going to talk about steroids. Is there something I don't know about Rob? Click into the video. And when you don't get the answer straight away, you're like, asshole, I hate him. And it's almost like I'm the punch bag. If you've ever had an issue with Rob, because nobody puts negative comments on Rob's videos. So it's like all of a sudden there's this kid who's like an asshole who I can just he's like a D4 head and I can comment and do stuff. But like half the people, they don't watch the video. I got a comment from a big fitness YouTuber that grammatically made no sense, and I didn't understand what he was trying to say. He was trying to like defend Rob. I was like, bro, number one, I sent this video to him before I published it. Did you not know that? And did you not listen to the goddamn end? I said he was a nice guy. What's your problem? So these people are I learned a lot from that experience, even though that experience was 2 days ago. And it's that you've got to like stand for something, and you can't. If your stuff is polarizing, that's good. So I'm actually, I don't care that the likes are going up now, because even if the video's on like 18k now, for every 1,000 people who come to that, if half of them hate it but half of them love it, that's better than in Krispy Kreme, where it's like you don't really love it, you just like Krispy Kreme. Whereas with this, you're like, oh, I like what he's doing, or I hate what he's doing, and that's almost better. But it's not how we're raised on social media. We're raised to value the likes, value the like to dislike ratio, value all the good things. So that's been like a big experience for me. And if you don't like the video, man, I just don't care. You know what I mean?
That's the way to be, and it's a sweet fucking video. I really liked it.
I loved it as well. I was rewatching it like, man, this is great, and I'm in it. So
it's fucking. That's what another thing that Alex Clementila mentioned the other day is if you curse in the video. So if I say fuck right now, apparently you don't get recommended. You don't get.
Yeah, that's
put
why I
on the
bleep
feed
out
and
most of my curses. Yeah.
shit. Really?
So
Oh,
I
shit.
that would add a lot of editing work for Chris.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I think the odd time I leave it in, but now I bleep them all out.
Yeah.
And does it help a lot?
You can get demonetized from cursing.
Oh,
Really?
shit.
Yep.
Jesus.
You just did it again. So yeah.
No, the thing is, I feel like it's good that it's raw. 'Cause-
Sometimes it can be distasteful.
Mm.
I think I can
Yeah.
watch some. I've rewatched some of my own videos and been, God, you have a filthy mouth in you. It's not. It's more habitual rather than you're actually a bad person.
Yeah.
But I like to get rid of them now for the most part, unless it's comedically funny.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
yeah. And even with the changing audience, I suppose it wouldn't be
Good example.
looked upon so well, for you to make kids videos with like cursing every 2 minutes. Yeah,
100%. Look, I know I'm cursing in this, but I don't have any control over the editing.
it's
so
all right. Like,
Yeah.
don't stress. I mean, to be honest, we had
Most guests right before they're
yeah,
about to curse
exactly.
are like, "Can we curse?"
we curse.
Yeah.
we just give them we just give them the green flag. I mean, like
Yeah.
we had our good friend Rebel Phoenix on in what was it, episode 3. And like it was the most profanity filled podcast I've ever of any podcast I've ever seen. And I was in it. Like it was, we couldn't get through 3 sentences without like blurting out something that like you wouldn't say in front of any member of your family. Like it was great, but it was like
for every curse word like one person said, the other person would say 2.
like you had to,
and then
you
it
had
just
to
go
double
back
it,
and
you know?
forth.
It was like a game of chess or something.
So, like,
I'm so proud of you guys.
I'd love to go back and count them.
You have like a counter in the bottom left of the
That's what we
screen.
need. Yeah, like
Chris.
like like Cinema Sins. You have like a little bell. and
He's
stuff.
like, I'm on it. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's what we need.
I've drank
But
so
yeah,
much
that's
more
what-
water than you guys.
It was really get that water.
Wait, guys.
into you.
Okay, right. So, camera A, camera B. This is the first time this beautiful sacred monk bottle has been used to refill water. I think we all need to take a quick moment of silence before we play the Angelus.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Grace.
Yeah.
For those you can see, I actually spilled some of that on the.
This is from Glendalough as well. Like we just went down and we just like and we just brought it back.
Yeah.
It's not tap water.
That's a good transition from they're the sponsors of this video. So if you guys put the link down below, Monks in the Trunk, you can get 10% off your next water purchase.
Fun fact.
Yeah, that's what. Another thing I was thinking was, shit, I completely lost
Quick
it.
one, how long do you guys research before you do podcasts?
Fuck all.
Fuck off.
Yeah, I would as well, man.
No, the thing is, I tried research a bit about you, like, but you're just a YouTuber, and that's why I just started watching the videos.
Chris just let out a laugh.
But you know what I mean? There's not a lot to find on certain people.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
more
yeah,
in other
yeah.
people than other. Like Sean Bryan, for example, he has a whole fucking barber thing, and he's doing all these things. But then if you're a YouTuber, like most of the stuff's online, and just click into it.
Yeah.
So
So true. Like, yeah, I guess a bit of a backstory to me that I don't know, nobody really know, but say my like I come from Lusk or whatever, and my mum like grew up really, really poor, so she worked her ass off to send me to private school. People presume as well that if you go to private school that your parents are really rich. Like, I have a middle class family because my mum worked her ass off for years. She didn't get the points to do accountancy in college, so she studied at night while working full time. And then she became a chartered accountant. And she's been working her entire life. She sent me to Belvedere. I had 8 kids in my class in primary school, and I went to like a school of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I live on like a farm, like, so I saw it as like this massive opportunity to go do stuff and like try my best. And through that 6 years, I just grew up so much. And I learned so much in that the reason that I'm able to be consistent in YouTube and to try and like take feedback and the hate that's been towards me has all been how my mum and my dad raised me, and how Belvedere raised me. And I definitely feel like from the age of 12 to 18 I really did become a man. And that sounds so weird. And in college as well, like having to move college, like that grew me up a lot as well. So I'm like really grateful for all those things that happened to me.
that was beautiful. That was actually really beautiful.
That was a lovely story.
That was heartwarming. But now
Like,
you're in.
nobody will like not many. Sorry, lads. Not a huge amount of people are going to listen to this compared to like my YouTube videos.
Yeah.
But like
Oh,
for the
Jesus.
people who are listening to that, I want them to hear that because you just make presumptions over certain stuff. Like that was another thing about Rob. I wished almost that there's probably stuff in his past that like he had to overcome, but he just doesn't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get out of him in the video was, can I get any other answers out of him? But I genuinely think he just, I know everybody wishes he could have been like, yeah, I injected growth hormone into my forearm every day. But that's not the answer I got.
Yeah.
That Rob is who he is. I'm not going to force an answer out of him. He was kind enough to allow me into his house. One other thing, I keep going back to this Rob video. Some guy is like, why didn't you ask about his previous relationship? Bro, I sent him a DM and went to his gaff for 2 hours. Shane Dawson was with Jake Paul for 3 months.
Jesus, yeah.
And you think in a 6-hour period I can ask him about his previous relationship and get into really touchy subjects? You're an idiot. My God. Anyway.
That's what, there was a lot of pressure on you. That's what, when I first clicked into it, I was like, when you first started introducing, even he mentioned it earlier, halfway into it, it's like, you have to put a fucking clickbait thumbnail on this.
Yeah.
And then just, you put it up real quick. And it was really interesting how, like, he was on the same sort of wavelength as you, you know, throughout the whole thing. And I feel like he was himself. But at the same time, it was that thing you were talking about, like maybe there is that barrier that he just doesn't want to go past, you know?
I think he is. Someone put a good comment the other day. It's like he's a bit like a footballer in how his response is. Like you know what he's going to say before he says it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's that he's just that well media trained or that he's literally, his brain is so, everybody thinks like he's a bit of a jock and an idiot, but maybe his brain works in such a way that like he just sees stuff really, really well. He like frames everything really, really well. So when hate comes, he like, they're just a hater. You know what I mean? So what stuff you could see is just mainstream sort of bullshit advice may actually be a very good framework to think about stuff.
Yeah.
Because not only is Rob making a great living for himself, but from my experience on and off camera, and look, could I have spent more time with Rob? Yeah. Could I, before I have said something like this, should I have been to his gaff a few more times potentially? But he genuinely seems like a very secure and down-to-earth guy. He loves touching his hair. And he has the greatest skin I've ever seen. And his house is meticulously clean. But I just think he's a very genuine guy. From someone who's very skeptical about everybody. You know what I mean? Like, from meeting him in person, he's pretty great. Like, love you, Rot. No. Not going to go that far.
That's pretty interesting. And I had this one question that I wanted to ask you, but it just slipped my mind.
Am I gay? No.
Okay, good. You answered that one yourself. I wanted to ask about the Microsoft job.
Yeah.
And you're obviously working with Alex Plamadila.
Yeah.
And what's that like? Is it a big step up from like what you were doing in college, and are you learning more and stuff?
Yeah, I love it. I'm doing marketing, so there's a few of us from UCD who are there. We had like a list. How commerce works is we had a list of companies that we could have applied for. So I applied to 3 different marketing roles, and I sort of wasn't too enthused by the other 2 ones. So I said to myself, basically, if I don't get Microsoft, I'm going to take a year out, because I couldn't face going straight into final year. So
Wait, you have 1 more year, do you?
Yeah, I've got to do final
with
year.
Alex?
No, sorry. So Alex is he did a funky way of doing it, but basically he's sort of finished his degree. So he's not gone back to college.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So, I applied for it. I was going to try my best. I knew there was a slim chance of me getting it. And I just sort of got it, didn't I? So,
Fair play.
the boys, not many joking. But it's great. I have a really good time. I'm learning a huge amount from someone who would have been skeptical because I'd ran my own thing with freelance. I'm like, what can I learn from a big company? I'm learning a huge amount. The people are extremely nice. I've worked in 2 9-to-5s before, and the network of people there are just fabulous. They're just so great, and they really help you with your growth and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to get any taller, but as a person. So I've been really enjoying it, and it's cool to get Instagram pictures of Alex, which is what I do all the time.
Good stuff.
And also, I wanted to talk about some topic that was like,
go for it.
Relatable. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Oh, right. Okay.
What's an interesting topic to talk about that you can talk about?
Oh, good question.
You have a good question. Go on.
Oh no, that I said that is a good question.
That's a
I'm
good
trying to
question.
think of what the answer would be. Are you talking a little bit about how the Irish YouTube scene is blown up like the past
yeah.
2-3 months?
That'd be good.
James like, yeah, talk about that, yeah.
Throw that in.
No
Yeah.
problem. But a year ago,
We are butchering this podcast, by the way. We are so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, how the Irish YouTube scene is blowing up because Thomas Arnold is leading the way. It's like
I'm
Arnold's-
part of the team. The team. But like a year ago, there was nothing on the scene really.
Yep.
There was Carl had 2K. I didn't even know who Sean Tracy was. Stellar. I had maybe 1.5K. The last summer was the ascent of the fitness YouTubers. So when Alex Glenn-Gillen, Sean Cullen at the time, who no longer makes YouTube videos, RIP, Dan O'Moore when he was filming his J1, and Colin Mullen still makes videos. They had a big meetup and they all gained like 1,000, 2,000 subs really quick. And I was like, God, this is mad. Like they're all doing Q&As with each other. Everybody's growing. Everybody's saying they're going to take on social media full time. Meanwhile, I was there making videos during summer with 15 and 16-year-old lads who are now my good friends. Cian, Cal. I didn't make that many with Sean. Jamie Gannon, who's Cian's cousin. And who else is it? Oh, God, that's really embarrassing if I don't remember other people. Dara. But it was mainly Cian, Jamie, and Cal. Yeah. And we literally go to Bullock. Like, we just made loads of videos together. Oh, Jacob Johnson, who's Cian's friend. And like views weren't doing really well or anything, and I was like wondering what the hell's going on. Like, what do I do? Excuse me. And basically, tactfully, Cal had a few viral videos. So English slang versus Irish slang went proper viral. It's over 1 million views. Sean Tracy, Irish Teenage Discos, that went viral for him. So he flew from whatever it was.
That's Chapman, right?
Oh, sorry,
No.
Sean Tracy, Stellar.
Stellar.
You don't know him?
No.
He's like 14. He's like really
How old are these guys? They're like
14. Sean's 14, Cal's 15 or 16, Jaffman's 14. I haven't even gotten to Jaffman yet. But basically that whole scene was blown up. So Cal had like gone up to 20k by this February of this year, March this year.
Yeah.
Sean Tracy had done the same. I was just steadily growing. I didn't have like the videos that did well for me views wise were the sneaking in ones. Krispy Kreme did really well recently. Yeah. The Rob one's going to do well as well. They all gave me more subscribers, I guess, but Jaffman blew up sort of out of nowhere 3 or 4 months ago because he made these. He's just so talented. He's so funny. I laugh at his stuff. It's just he deals with such relatable topics, and I think that the reason why his stuff did go viral is because they're so relatable to like teenage girls. Yeah, and teenage girls, if you can make a video that they really really laugh at, they'll spread it into group chats really quick, and that's how stuff starts setting on fire. So he's on 55k now or something. Jeez. So we've developed a bit of a family though. Myself, Dara Ta, who makes commentary videos, he's changed into other stuff. Cal, Sean, and Jaffa Man and Keane and the Gannons. We have a bit of and Miles Rich and stuff. It's like a family of people who are making videos now. Like there was a meetup that happened in November that was all due to Jaffa Man, to be honest, but 150 people showed up. Jeez. And it doesn't really matter that he was the big pull, that he was the guy who pulled in everybody. It was more that now, and to be honest, there was a lot of young people, like mainly girls as well. Like now we're relatable figures for them. And we're part of this group of people who they watch. So they like Thomas for certain aspects. They like Dara. We're like the older brothers to those lads. Yeah. So we might not be as funny or make as good videos, but we can help them with resources. We can give them some life advice if they need it off camera. Yeah. We can help them do stuff like Dara drives, like stuff that you wouldn't think about. Yeah. And all of a sudden it's gone from nothing to something. And it's scary to think what it's going to be like in another year. But it's just been so cool to see it. I never would have. I always knew I was going to grow a big YouTube channel. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. And I'm at the cusp of hitting. I feel like 10k is the warm up. It's like I've done a lot of groundwork. Yeah. To get to like 100k, then will be like another milestone. Yeah. But it's just been so cool to see everything change.
That's what it's kind of interesting thinking how your YouTube channel will grow. You know, that's with us doing the podcast. What we're on like 150 right now. And it's time really. That's what I'm wondering. Just when did you start growing? Like, when did you see?
Well, like I had sort of consistent growth, but sort of slow. But you only see growth when you get videos that perform really well. Yeah. And you can only get videos that perform really well if you do stuff that's like contextual and stuff that your guys' is different because you're relying on the name of the person to pull in numbers. Yeah. But with my videos, it's different because, say, with Krispy Kreme, I found out the day before on Alex's Snapchat that like the Snapchat that's at the start of the
Yeah,
the Instagram video. I literally watched that, and I rang up Matt and Leigh, and I was like, "We're gonna make a video today." This is Saturday morning,
Yeah.
and then I went straight in the bus, and I just was like, "I'm gonna film it," and I just because I thought it was relevant at the time.
Yeah.
So because I only do one a week now, I'm just doing stuff that I feel is sort of relevant that could perform really well. The Rob Lipsett one, I gave you the 2 reasons why: view duration and clickable thumbnail. But also his name has search title results. So if you put in a video around, I don't know, I know this is irrelevant now, but what was the fidget spinners? Like, the reason why people made so many fidget spinner videos is that they just did well. So I don't know what you. Excuse me, I don't know what you guys could do. That burp is disgusting. Maybe you could get smaller clips that I know you put it on your Instagram, but maybe it's the same thing. I know Andy Fox is doing this as well. Whatever, Monks in the Trunk clips, but use titles that are more clickable. And they feed into the longer content.
I was even thinking it might be interesting to do like little smaller videos that we can release separately to the podcast. And maybe do some random ass shit. I don't know, like even we were doing that little intro we did at the start. That was so fun to do because we were like, all right. You were like, all right. We just need to make a fucking intro.
It's the best intro ever.
Throw us out of the boot of the car.
Yeah, it's so
My
funny.
little brainchild.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing more mockeries as well. Well, we should be.
See, that's the thing. I think that's our grand future plan.
What's
Stay
mockeries?
tuned.
So we're just going to be taking the piss out of certain types of people. So we've done one on Americans. He was Chad, the American.
American tourists. And like, it's complete shite. Like, none of it is like based on anything. It's just like we throw ourselves into the moment and I just talk shit with an accent and a pair of sunglasses. And it works. Kind of.
So we took the piss out of SoundCloud rappers there the other day. That should come up soon. And we want to go into like, I think he has a lot of characters.
I have a lot of shit planned. I mean, like, it's like what you were saying. Hopefully it'll get to a point where we'll have our, like, you know, ears to the ground and we'll be able to do something in a week that makes sense to release that week. And then
just think of like what value can you give to the audience. So the basis of your stuff is that you have to have good entertaining content, and then the icing on the cake, but ironically it's what feeds the viewership, is how you get them into the funnel. So for me, I'm like, I know how to craft an entertaining, funny video that's either relaxing or just very energetic for you to watch. So you're either going to be inspired or you're just going to feel, with the Rob one, you're just going to sit back, relax and be like, I'm taking out the Doritos here and enjoying this. But the thing, ironically, that is before that is that they're not going to watch that unless you get them to click into it. And people are like, oh, clickbait, asshole, blah, 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 blah. What you want to do is have it like clickbaity enough that they go into it. Intriguing enough is probably a better word. Intriguing. But I want you, when you click on my video, for you to click in, and instead of being like disappointed, you're gradually like, oh, this is great. Like Nico Amalana, I don't know if you know him. He does celebrity prank videos and stuff. Say for example, it's like celebrity prank in a grocery store. It sounds crazy, but you click in and it's just, he flips it on its head and makes it even better. So just focus on making really cool stuff for your audience.
That's the plan. That is the plan.
The dream.
It's
you can do it, but it just requires effort, time, focus, consistency.
That's it.
And everybody's making podcasts, so you've got to. Like when I was starting vlogs, everybody was doing vlogs. It'll stand the test of time. Who will, like, people will rise to the top or they won't. We're going to fall away. So you're just going to make that decision if you guys are.
I think it's like you're saying, just consistency and persistence, and just hopefully some
and
fucking
innovating and changing.
You got to be clever about
great content,
and not being attached to, I've started as a podcast, so I need to stay as a podcast. You need to work with what's growing. And also you enjoy. Like, you have to enjoy it as well, you know. But if I was so attached to being the college vlogger, I never would have grown how I have now. If that makes sense, because it's a very small market for college people. Of
course.
Jesus Christ, I'm getting inspired by Thomas Arnold here. Like, that's what I feel. We started this 3 months ago. And just even the guests we're trying to get in, we're trying to be like even skin fades are in. You know, people are getting skin fades, but now that you think about it, people are going to start wanting to grow their hair out now as well. And
good man, Jack.
It's about like just being staying consistent with the trends as well, like you're saying, just knowing
staying relevant.
Relevant.
That sort of stuff.
People as well is like, no, build a brand. Like, don't be trendy. Be you. I'm like, shut up. If we're small businesses. You got to scrap your way to the top.
Mm.
And when you're at the top, you can then make the decision, this is who I am. But for every Nike and Adidas out there, there's a million people trying to get their way up there.
Yeah.
And you've just got to, you know, get up there whatever way you can. I don't mean that in an unethical way either.
Yeah.
I don't mean that you should do stuff that you're blatant. Like, people do that as well. They're like, I'm going to make shite content that I know will get views, and I'm going to trick and deceive people into getting where I want to go. That's not it. But if you work your ass off and, as I said, like, innovate and try new things, that's how you can get anywhere in this life, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. I've been enlightened. All right, guys. I mean, we're coming up to 45. Do you want to say any last words?
Any closing remarks?
Any closing remarks? Well,
Jack.
Thomas Arnold is actually a prick. No, I'm joking.
This is all fake.
So he's actually
Lie.
fake. Everything he said is just fake. I saw it here first.
Slip the check later. All right?
Under the
Yeah.
No, that was not true. That is, I take that back
Clarify.
completely. He is a wonderful lad. Cheers for coming in, man. That
Yeah,
was
of
fucking
course.
sweet.
Anytime, lads. I guess I'll finish with. So I put up on my Instagram story, and I know you already saw it, but I did this. Yeah,
That's what I wanted to talk about earlier. That
the
I
5
forgot.
a.m. thing.
Yeah, how the fuck are you waking up at 5 a.m.?
No,
man?
I don't. I can't get up at 5 a.m. every morning. You know what I mean? Normally, I've always been getting up getting up early as a kid when I was
Yeah.
younger.
Yeah.
Because I used to you have to get up at like 5:45 to get into school when I was in secondary school. But I'm just doing it to be more, mainly because I had a load of freelance edits to do, and I need to get them done before work.
Yeah.
Because I can't work at night time. And the other thing was because I have an accounting repeat, so I'm just gonna have to cram the hell out of that because it's in December 15th. Say a little prayer for that. But it's just to be more productive, I guess. But also just I was like counting the days left in the year. There's like 40 days left in the year, and it's just so easy in our day to day to be like, I've got college stuff on, and I've got these meetings to go to, and stuff is boring, and you just go through life like not thinking about what's happening to you. And you have to like forcibly check yourself in to see what progress you've made.
Yeah.
So in the same way, when I hit 10k, I'll probably put out a video being like, this is where I've gone from start to finish. But you have to, it's a bit like therapy as well. Like, I pay stupid money to go to therapy.
Yeah.
And every time I go, I'm like, I'm pissing away my money here. Why am I doing this? I could have bought, Supreme sneakers here or something. But the reason why I do it is that it's a forcible time every 2 weeks where I have to speak about my issues and I have to get them out.
Yeah.
And the purpose of charting every day of when I get up is that I have to force myself to be like, no, I'm getting up today and I'm going to go do something, because ultimately we are all going to die. I know it's very cliche, but like, we are all going to die at some point. You know what I mean? And it's for whatever work and effort you go through stuff, and every like the pain and the shit of stuff that you go through, you look back on the year that was, and you're going to say to yourself one of two things: I did what I could have done, or I missed out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to look back on 2018, 2019, 2020, 2200 when I die, that I didn't put everything I could into what I could have done in my life.
Yeah.
So that's the purpose of like getting up early.
All right, guys.
Bro, that was a fucking beautiful rant.
Inspiring.
Like
ass
even
rant.
even today, I was thinking. I woke up. Oh man, this thought just came into my head out of fucking nowhere. I think it was because I saw your fucking story, man. Him writing down 5:37. I'm like, if I had
17.
5:17. But if I was told today that I'm gonna die in like a year, what the fuck would I do? Like,
You
know?
get up at fucking 3 a.m.
I would fucking do some mad shit just to be able to do it. Like,
Yeah.
and then you think like, why don't you do that now? You know? And yeah, I'll leave you with that.
Guys.
Pleasure, voice.
Words of
That was
wisdom.
fucking sweet.
Voice.
I cursed again. Sorry.
Demonetized.
Demonetized.
See
All
you
right.
next week, guys.
See you next week. Take care.